Dictator of War, bringing you, yes you, the final installment of the Decline of the TNA titles. In this edition, I'm going to be talking about the TNA World Heavyweight Title and the NWA World Heavyweight Title, respectively. Now, back when TNA first started, they done something interesting with the world title scene. They brought in the NWA World Heavyweight Title, a title that has a lot of prestige and a long-running track record. And the thing I liked about it is they were not afraid to take risk with that title. Not in the least bit. Come on, one of their first champions was Ken Shamrock. That was a big risk right there. And then we go down the line of Ron the Truth Killings, AJ Styles, Raven, and Jeff Jarrett. Yeah, I think that was a risk, putting it in the hands of someone who likes to pay power plays to hold the title, but that's neither here nor there. Then it was Rhino, Christian Cage, Abyss, Sting, and then Kurt Angle. Those are all the people that held the NWA World Heavyweight Title. Some were more, they took more risk with some rather than they did others, but it was their chance to propel people to the main event that you wouldn't see in other promotions, like AJ Styles. Come on. How many people would see AJ Styles holding a world title in a WWE? I think there's only been one time we ever really saw a little man hold the title in the WWE, and that was Rey Mysterio. But in TNA, they're not afraid to take risk. They were not at all. They made that belt prestigious. But just like with the X Division title and the tag team titles, there was a certain point where it started, the world title scene started to get still and started to piss me off a little. The first little tiny thing that happened which pissed me off was when Raven was champion. This was right before TNA gets their TV deal with Spike TV. You know, and I was excited. I was like, alright, yes! Raven as NWA World Heavyweight Champion. I get to see him on my TV screen without having to order weekly pay-per-views, without seeing him ever so often on Fox Sports Network. Alright, I'm excited. Only to find out, not too long before they had their deal with Spike TV, that good old Jeff Jarrett ended up winning the title from Raven in some cockamamie screw job in Canada. That's just so damn lame. But whatever. That's what happened. I was pretty pissed off to see Jarrett as champion. I guess they thought he'd be more credible or something, seeing that he was recently seen in WCW as champion and everything, and it'd be more fresh on people's minds. Whatever. I don't know. I think it would have been a lot better if they would have had Raven did it, because it would have been something different and in your face. And they didn't do that. They dropped the ball in that area. And then we have the very short reign of Rhino, who should have held it a lot sooner, and he should have held it a hell of a lot longer. But he didn't. Nope, sure as hell not. No, because Rhino holding the NWA title was an afterthought, because it was supposed to be dropped to Nash. Nash no-showed. End of story. That's what happened. So they're like, hell, let's give it to Rhino. And then, well, only 2, maybe 3 weeks later, guess what happens? Rhino drops the belt to Jarrett again. And now, later on, we're treated with Sting versus Jarrett, and we're building up towards Bound for Glory. But then something happens. Fans' revenge match. It was Samoa Joe versus Jeff Jarrett, but they made it a non-title match. Joe wins, carries the strap off, says that he deserves it. It belongs to him, and they were pushing Joe, and it looked like he would be the legitimate person to be holding that title. But instead, they're pushing towards this whole Bound for Glory thing with Sting, which Sting and Jarrett had their chance, their 15 minutes of fame. They had their chance to be in the spotlight, to be in the main event, to hold the gold. The only gold Joe has ever held was the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Title. And no disrespect to the Ring of Honor World Title, but the NWA World Heavyweight Title has a lot more prestige than the Ring of Honor title for only one reason: of the track record of how many people has held that title, like Harley Race, Ric Flair, all those people. You know, and it was time for Joe to shine. It would have meant more if Joe would have held the title around that time frame before TNA decided to cut all ties with NWA. But, you know, so anyways, that happens, and around this time, Kurt Angle shows up. And as soon as Kurt Angle shows up, all the push momentum they had for Joe, they just threw it out the door and gave it all to Angle. And ever since then, Joe has been the butt monkey over and over and over again, and we've been force-fed Angle as champion. And I think this force-feeding of Angle as champion is worse than when we were force-fed Jarrett as champion. That's my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but that's what I personally feel. And it's just getting worse. Now we're going to be having Angle versus Christian Cage coming up real quick. And where's Joe? Tagging up with Kevin Nash. Going for the freaking tag titles. What the hell kind of sense does that make? I don't know if Joe's ever going to be pushed the way he truly needs to be pushed. Honestly, if he's going to be pushed at all, it might be in another promotion, because TNA's dropping the ball with Joe. They keep dropping the ball with Joe, and he would be a credible champion, and he would be a breath of fresh air for us TNA fans. And it pisses me off that they're not using him. But that's all I have to say. There's a lot more I wanted to say, but you know what? TNA needs to get their heads out of their ass and their creative, and they need to start making some better decisions and stop making the titles decoration pieces, because that's all the TNA title is right now. The World Title, X Division Tag Team. The only title that's spotless for now is the Knockout Championship. That's the only reason I haven't mentioned it. But that's all I have to say, guys. Hope you enjoyed the videos. I'm out. Take care. Peace.